My name's Anthony Pascariello. I topped Yu-Gi-Oh! Nationals in 2011 and 3 YCSs back-to-back in 2012. Although I stopped playing in 2013, I've rediscovered my passion for the game through older formats and love sharing ideas about how to play. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Masterclass. I'm by no means a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master. Hello everyone, welcome to Masterclass. Thanks so much for being here. I'm very excited about today's episode because last time we talked about Frog Monarchs, and that's kind of like a counter puncher in boxing, right? That deck, it kind of lets your opponent do what they got to do, and then it counters and hits them even harder. With Caius, with Raioh, they don't want to do anything. You start throwing some jabs in with the Stalos, picking apart the hand a little bit. You put Lad on the field. That's kind of like a rope-a-dope where they're just using all their resources and completely draining themselves out, so you can just take care of them in the end game or chisel them down, and by the time it's mid-game, the game's already over because they have nothing left. This deck is nothing like that. This deck is the aggressor. This is the puncher. This is going straight for you, but it knows when to back off. It has very good balance, and I'm very excited to share. I am, of course, talking about Blackwings, a very popular deck at many different times in its span, but we're talking about Edison, right? This is Edison series, so let's talk about Blackwings and Edison. I'm going to try to break down cards a little bit more specifically in this episode, so if you want to skip ahead to the first game, if you feel like you have a good understanding of Blackwings, then by all means do so. So let's go over the monsters, and the first one that always comes to my mind for some reason is Shura. He is an 1800 beater. Whenever he runs over an opponent's monster and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon a Blackwing monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck. Its effects are negated. Now, running over a monster with one of your monsters is a +1, right, naturally, but being able to special summon another monster from your deck is a +2 at this point. So Shura creates a lot of advantage. You're going to notice that this deck does this. It creates a lot of advantage in many different ways, and Shura really starts that entire engine paired with Whirlwind, and we'll get to Whirlwind in a couple minutes because that is such a good card. Now, what you're going to want to get with Shura is either most of the time Vayu or Gale. Gale is a level 3 tuner, very good by itself. Its effects are negated when it's brought out by Shura, but when it's not brought out by Shura, you could special summon it from the hand if you control another Blackwing monster, and once per turn you could pick an opponent's monster on the field and have its attack and defense. Now that's so good at, you summon Shura, they have anything on the field, any 2000 plus attack or anything that Shura can't deal with. Normal summon Shura, special summon Gale, have the monster attack over with Shura, special summon another monster. If they have something like a Stardust Dragon and you don't have Shura, just normal summon Gale, have it at 1250, you run over it. Gale creates a ton of problems. Gale is such a good card, and it is limited to 1 at this point for very good reason. And the other card that you can get Kalut as well, but most of the time you want Kalut in the hand, and I'll explain why in a second. But the other card you're going to get is Vayu. It's a level 1 tuner that can't be used as synchro material when it's face up on the field, but Shura negates the effect when it gets brought out by him, right? So bring out Vayu, now you have a level 1 tuner. You could make a level 5 synchro with it. If you have another Blackwing on the field, you can make a different synchro with it. And Vayu is very good because while it's in the graveyard, you can remove it from play in another Blackwing monster and special summon a Blackwing monster from your extra deck whose level equals what you remove from play. So basically, you're going to remove a Vayu and a Sirocco. That's 1 + 5 is 6. Bring out an Armed Wing. Its effect is going to be negated. That is part of Vayu's effect, but it's pretty much free, right? You can't play 2 Vayu. I do like playing 1. Vayu Turbo is a different deck. It's very popular. It plays 3. When you get Vayu in the graveyard, it's just going to spit out these 2300 Armed Wings. When an Armed Wing gets destroyed, you could even remove a Vayu in an Armed Wing. That's 1 and a 6 to bring out a 7. If you remove Vayu in a 7, you could bring out Silver Wing. That's an 8. So a lot of playability with Vayu. Don't want it in the hand so much. So in this Blackwing deck, we're just playing 1. Sirocco is our next monster. This is a 2000 attacker, and he can only be normal summoned or set if your opponent controls a monster, and you don't. So it's kind of like a Cyber Dragon, except it's a normal summon. Now what Sirocco does, once per turn during your main phase 1, you can target 1 Blackwing monster you control until the end of the turn. It gains attack equal to the total attack of all Blackwing monsters currently on the field except itself. That means your opponent's monsters too if they have any Blackwings. Monsters other than the targeted monster cannot attack during the turn you activate this effect. But why this is so good is really because of Bora, I want to say, being a piercer in Edison format, and a couple other formats too where there are a lot of monsters in defense mode. You can, actually we should get into what Bora does, but you could normal summon Sirocco, and Bora is just like Gale. You could special summon it, and he has a piercing effect, which means if he runs over a monster in defense mode that has lower defense than his attack, you inflict the difference as damage. So, yes, normal summon Bora, that's 2,000. Say they have a monster in defense mode. Normal summon Sirocco, special summon Bora. Use Sirocco's effect to combine all the attacking or all the Blackwing monsters on the field. We'll just say it's Sirocco and Bora at this time. You combine it, that's 3,700. Now Bora has 3,700. You attack over a Raioh, has 100 defense. They're going to take 3,600 battle damage. That's basically half their life points. So that's incredible, right? Bora being a piercer, a 1,700 attacker isn't bad, and the fact that you could special summon him while you control another Blackwing monster is very good. Creates a lot of pressure on your opponent. Sirocco can include your opponent's monsters, so if you're playing against a Blackwing deck and they just have Ashura, normal summon Sirocco, use its effect before you attack. Now it has 3,800 attack and you attack. The only backdraw with this is whatever monster you put the attack to, that's the only monster that can attack. I mean, that'd be absolutely insane if all your monsters could still attack after that, right? So you're going to go, they have even value turbo. They have armed wings, they have armor master. You go normal summon, boost your attack. You go normal summon, special summon Gale, boost your attack, use Gale's effect to half their monster. There's just a multitude of stuff that you can do with these cards. Alright, next we have Blizzard. Now Blizzard, this deck is relentless. This deck just puts the pressure on like nothing else. Can't be special summoned. When it's normal summoned, you could target one level 4 lower Blackwing monster in your graveyard, special summon that target in defense position. This is a level 2 tuner. He can get Shura. He can get Bora. Those are level 6. That's a Bryonic. That's an Armed Wing. That's a Goyo Guardian. It could get Gale. Use Gale's effect. Half an opponent's monster's attack and defense. It could get Kalut, that's a level 5. This is just such a good card, and it also creates a lot of pressure and just really makes the board hard for your opponent to deal with. And if that wasn't enough, let's throw in a card called Kalut, which most of the time will stay in the hand, and this is basically like Honest, has an effect that when you're attacking or being attacked, you could send it from your hand to the graveyard, and your Blackwing monster is going to gain 1,400 attack till the end of the turn. So not only is it just for that one battle, but it's literally until the end of the turn. So if you have a Shura, they attack, you Kalut, now you're getting Shura's effect, their monster's destroyed, and if they have another monster higher than Shura, they can't attack over it because you're still at 3,200. So this card is so good at cleaning up games. It's just always so sneaky, and anyone that's played with Kalut before knows that you turn a good situation into a game-winning situation just by having this card, and it's game-changing. Also, in the sense of your opponent thinks they're going to generate an advantage, all of a sudden they lost a monster, and maybe even you got an effect of Shura or something like that. This card is unbelievably good. This entire monster lineup, they all work so well together. And then, of course, why not drop a Dark Armed Dragon in there? This entire deck is dark. Value removes itself from play with a Sirocco or any other Blackwing Synchro in there. So you can kind of have better graveyard control. Blizzard brings them out of the graveyard. It's very easy to get Dark Arm out with this deck. So this is a solid, just a Blackwing heavy and Dark Arm Dragon monster lineup, and it is very powerful. I'm excited to go into the games and see what we can do. So onto the spell cards. Allure Darkness, draw 2, remove from play a dark monster from your hand. That's very good at just getting the right cards that you need at the right time. Brain Control with all these tuners is just very good at summoning Brain Control, taking a monster that's a 1-for-1, making a synchro. You're losing your card, but putting another card on the field. So it's even, but you're getting a card off their side of the field and you're putting more pressure on them, which this deck, as I've said, loves to do. You have Book of Moons for disruption. You have Heavy Storm, clears up all the spells and traps. Obviously, Heavy Storm's one of the best cards ever made. MST is going to pop 1 back row, face up or face down. Upstart Goblin thins the deck, pay 1,000 life points to draw 1 card. I love this card, and I've always said for the longest time that almost every deck should play 3 of these, because why run 40 when you could run 37? If all your cards are meant to be in your hand, and not all cards are, but if you want to access your better cards and you want to get them faster, you play Upstart Goblin, and then you're just drawing more, thinning your deck out. But here it comes. Here it comes. One of the best cards ever, besides Heavy Storm and Upstart Goblin. Black Whirlwind. When a Blackwing monster is normal summoned to your field, you can add 1 Blackwing monster from your deck to your hand with less attack than that monster. That is unbelievable. That is so versatile. That is so plus generating. That is just an unbelievable card. If you open turn 1 with Whirlwind and Ashura, Black Whirlwind just did its job. You got your card back. Yes, you had to field commit a little bit, but now you're setting yourself up. Next turn, summon Bora. You can get Kalu. Kalu can get Blizzard. Blizzard can get Vayu. Sirocco could get anything. You can do so much with this card, and if they don't have a way to deal with it, then they're never going to be able to stop what you're doing. And at any point you want to put your foot on the gas after normal summoning one, you start special summoning, spam the board, and all of a sudden it looks like you're going to win. Now, Black Whirlwind won't work if your opponent has an answer to your normal summon. If they have a Torrential Tribute, a Bottomless Trap Hole, a Book of Moon, you will not get Black Whirlwind's effect. Trap lineup, Starlight Road. If a card or effect is activated that would destroy 2 or more cards that you control, you negate the effect, destroy it, and special summon Stardust Dragon. That is situational but unbelievably good. It's a 1-for-1, except then you get a Stardust Dragon. That's a +1 in the form of a Stardust that can negate something else 1 time, because when it comes out from Starlight Road it wasn't properly summoned. You can't bring it back. That's still unbelievable. It's almost always a +2. At least they're field committing if it's a +1 and have to deal with it in different ways. The Torrential Tribute clears the board, bottomless, prevents them from summoning. Deep Prison protects your monsters. Mirror Force protects your monsters. Solemn Judgment, pay half your life points, negate anything. A summon, a spell, a trap card, not a monster effect, but that is a godly figure right there. But I talked about versatility, and I think this deck is so plus generating and versatile because it has a card called Icarus Attack. You tribute a winged beast monster, and then you target 2 cards on the field and destroy them. Now, not only is this a great 2-for-2, but, and I keep talking about Shura, if you brought out a monster with Shura and then use Icarus, that's a +1, but that's more of Shura being a +1 than Icarus. But if they MST this, you can chain it, tribute a Blackwing monster, and kill 2 other cards that they control. This is a +1 when even being a 2-for-2 and creating the game state that you want in the environment that you want on the board, that's already great by itself. But being able to even get a plus out of it potentially makes this card so much better. Very versatile card, and this main deck is just a force to be reckoned with. The side deck, there's a card you need to be worried about, and it's this guy right here. Little Innocent Ball of Light. My side deck probably needs to deal with this better, I would say. Neither player can normal summon or special summon dark monsters or declare an attack with a dark monster. This card can't be destroyed by battle with a dark monster, and you take no battle damage from that battle. Oh, we're gone. Yeah, this card will shut down Dueling Book. This card is just that unbelievable. What are you supposed to do if your opponent puts this on the field? You book a moon, you attack it, it flips up, it can't be destroyed. You can't book it, you can't bottomless it. You're never going to Mirror Force or Deep Prison it. You can Icarus Attack because you can still set monsters to Icarus Attack, but what are the odds that you're going to have an Icarus when they have Consecrated? What if they side in 3? You need to have other monsters in your side deck to deal with this card. I only have 4. It does not seem like enough. I want to change the side deck up a little bit. I'm not going to go too much into the side deck because this is a very basic kind of side deck. But the only card I will talk about that you can put in the main deck, well, 2 cards. One is Royal Oppression, one of the best cards ever. This deck, besides Blizzard, really has an easy time using Oppression. pay 800 life points to negate a special summon. That is so problematic for so many decks, and you could easily main deck one or two of these. In this version, I'm not, but you can. In the second card, which mostly sees play in the side deck, not so much in the main deck, is Delta Crow Anti-Reverse. If you control a Blackwing monster, destroy all face-down spells and traps your opponent controls. That is like running more heavy storms, except if you control exactly 3 Blackwing monsters, you can activate this card from your hand. That is a heavy storm if you have 3 Blackwing monsters on the field. This card is so good, so underrated, and I've won a handful of games because of it. The only problem is most of the time you do have to set it first. You're not really going to have 3 Blackwing monsters committed to the field, which isn't that big of a deal. And the other problem is they could still flip over face downs and chain in cards like Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, which negate all effects of dark monsters on the field and in the graveyard. That'll stay remaining on the field, or that'll remain on the field rather, and that'll be a little bit of a problem. So maybe put some dusts in here because you don't want Icarus Attack to have to deal with Shadow Mirror and Consecrated Light. You want to have more cards, so maybe a couple Dust Tornadoes. I'm going to take out this Mind Control. I'm going to take out this Dust Shoot right now. I'm just going to put in a couple Dust Tornadoes. And then you have, I'm not going to get too much into the extra deck except for the Blackwing monsters. Armed Wing is a piercer, and when it attacks, it gains 500 attack. Armor Master is an absolute beast, can't be destroyed by battle. You take no battle damage from him, and if at the end of the damage step, if this card attacks a monster, you place a wedge counter on it, and then you could remove all wedge counters from your opponent's monsters, and the attack and defense of those monsters that had wedge counters becomes 0 until the end of the turn. So basically, you hit something once with this, next turn you remove the wedge counter that you put on it from the first battle, now it's at 0, now you run it over. This card is a huge threat. In Silverwind, when this card synchro summon, you can target up to 2 face-up monsters on the field with defense lower than this card's attack and destroy them. You can't attack the turn that you use the effect, and during each of your opponent's turn, the first Blackwing monster you control that would be destroyed by battle is not destroyed. This almost never gets used, even though that is a pretty broken effect. There's just really no time to special summon a level 8 because it needs 2 non-tuners, so you would need Blizzard plus Kalute, and I mean that's pretty situational that you're ever going to put 2 Kalutes on the field. So without further ado, let's jump into some games. Yugi Kaiba format looks pretty cool, but we'll do that another time. Hey, good luck, have fun! He's going scissors, I don't care, because they're going rock. He's thinking about it deeply. Yeah, would I go across the board and tie with him? Most likely would, but then he would go rock, and then paper would win. Dude, rock, paper, scissors. Crazy deep game. Let's go into something a little less deep, that is Yu-Gi-Oh! So, we got Vayu Sirocco. Nice combo to have. Heavy Storm, clear out the, the booby traps, the bottomlesses, the deep prisons, the whatnots. 1 trap, 2 traps and a Glad. Perfect for a Heavy Storm Sirocco. Drawing a boar is good because now we know that they can't dust shoot us. Unfortunately, we have Heavy for their 2 back row. More unfortunately, if they have Starlight Road, they don't. They have My Body and Bottomless. So, I don't think anything in that deck can get over this right off the rip unless they're playing Cyber Dragon to get over the big monsters or books and whatnot, but I'm just going to set book because odds of them having MST and a card to get over this besides a Rescue Cat are pretty slim, I think. Maybe they do. They have Rhoda, could have Prisma Test Tiger, in which case book's going to disrupt that very nicely. And I guess I could have set Torrential to go 2 for 2, but I'd rather keep Sirocco on the field and make them deal with it than make us deal with it when we could save our Torrential Tribute for later. That's my thought process right now. There is the Test Tiger. And let me think about that one. You can tribute this card. Shuffle that back into the deck. I don't know if has to be face up. Yeah, I'm gonna book that because it's no longer face up, so it's not gonna go back to the deck. So we wasted a book. They wasted a tiger. That's a 1-for-1, but hopefully Sirocco can get over their Prisma, and then looks like it will. That's a +1. They do have a Bestie engrave, and I think we're clear to just attack. Now we could right here. Now I'm playing a little cautiously because we could have went normal summon Bora, Sirocco, pump board at 37, attack over this for 2600, leave him at 5000. I like that play, but in the event that they have a Laquari, and they probably don't have a Laquari, MST, Heavy Storm, anything like that, but no reason to give it to them for free, right? Allure, good card. If I have to remove value, I will. I'd rather have Bora in the hand, I think. Kaloot's good. Icarus is great. Yeah, I'm not a big value fan. Not a big value fan. Unless this is Hiplomus and we just drew Kaloot, we're good to attack into it. Just Murmillo. Interesting play to set Murmillo. And I think now we're okay to set Icarus too. We have Kaloot for an attack. They want to set more cards. Just one more card. Okay, great card to draw. And we're not going to overextend. I'm going to play this. I feel like I'm saying things and then doing the opposite almost, but I still feel like Torrential is not the right play with Sirocco on board. I don't want to sack it, but Icarus is fine to set because if they set more cards trying to deal with this or bluff as they set a Murmillo, that wasn't a Hiplomus. It seems like they're going to keep setting cards, and when they finally have an answer like a Deep Prison or something, we can Icarus and get rid of the whole board and get a +1 and put ourselves in a really, really good spot. Another Sirocco. This is great. This is great. I don't think they want to book this if they don't have to. We went first. We have 8 to their 5, so we are up heavily. That Book of Moon was great. The run over Prisma was great. The run over Murmillo and a Quest and Heavy Storm. All these cards so plus. And now if that's the answer, then we're in good, very good shape. There's the answer. And if it's Starlight Road, it's Starlight Road. We have answers to that too. But it's Bottomless and Chariot, so perfect for us, right? Now I think we're good to set Torrential. If they have Heavy and a Glad, that's fine, because we have Kaloot and a Sirocco normal summon. Kaloot from the hand, Bora special summon. We have plenty of attack power. We just want to disrupt their attack, and I think Torrential will do that before they even get to declare the attack. They do have Heavy Storm, that's fine. There's a cat. And even that's fine, right? Unless they have Chariot. If they decide to make Heraclinos, if they get Sam Knight, Test Tiger, get Secutor, and then they attack and get 2 more, they'll probably get... Oh, 2 Sam Knights, okay. I'm going to take 32, no problem. If they, the problem lies now within if they have a back row. Because one Sam Knight can get a Quest, one could get Darius. Darius gets Bestiary. Well, they don't really need to do that, can they? Could get... Yeah, Quest, Darius, or Laquari. Let's see what they get. There's a lot of options here. I think they want the War Chariot back, so Questy is a good play. But they're going to get Laquari, maybe Darius. Yep, to bring back. Probably Murmillo you want in the deck, right? That way Bestie could stay in the graveyard. You could still make a Herc. But I'm surprised they only either play one a Quest. They have the second one in their hand. Not 100% sure. Because I feel like you want War Chariot in the hand, but then you can't make Heraclinos. Because it would be Laquari Darius. But if you get a Quest... Gonna put the Quest back in the deck for Herc. Interesting, interesting. No back row. And that's going to be game, I believe. We're going to go normal summon. We're going to go special summon, that's 37. Special summon's 54. 54 over this is 24. With Kaloot is 38. They have 36. Declare on Bora. I will attack and put this in the graveyard. And that's going to do it for game 1, I believe. Alright, now Glads. That's a problem deck, right? Fossil Dino, you can't special summon. Cyber Dragon creates a problem because it leaves a big monster on the field and gets rid of... Basically, against Glads, you have to pick apart their protection to get over the monsters. Now, we have a lot of protection in the form of trap cards here, right? Look at this. A ton already in the main deck and a ton in the side deck. We have Delta Crow, we have Dust, we have Oppression. And I think... Yeah, they don't really play a lot of cards that you can just keep face up except Shadow Mirror. So we're going to just put a ton of cards in right now. A ton. Absolute ton. And take a lot of cards out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. I'm going to be a little crazy and take out another Blizzard. It's just going to be monsters and back rows. That's what we're doing right now. I don't even think I need a lure. That's crazy to side out a lure, right? But I like 2 Dust. I like 2 Delta Crow. This is how I think I want to play this game too. Deep Prison is great. We saw that they have My Body as a shield in the deck. So Icaruses are going to kind of have to be targeting back row, right? And he's going to see everything. You can see as long as he damn near pleases. The card that he fears the most is Oppression. Prison Icarus Book Royal. Didn't write down which one there's 2 of. Does he have more... Is this a heavy storm? Does he have heavy in the hand? Does he want to go 2 for 2? Did I not shuffle? Oh, shoot. I didn't even shuffle. That's not good. Now... I guess I'm going to make a silly play here and set Oppression if they have Cat, and Deep Prison if they have a monster in My Body. If they have Heavy, then I think we just lose, or we have some serious coming back to do. We don't necessarily lose. Okay, a little protection, I think. Kinda want to set one more right now, but not gonna. Gonna keep them guessing. Okay, MST, and they hit the Great One. Maybe we should have said nothing after they dust shoot at us. That's Laquari, so what would they have even put back? That's fine. Interesting. Alright, so we go 1 for 1 and we have a position to get their monster off the field. Unless they have protection right here or another back row. I probably will summon Kalu or a smaller monster if I draw an attack. Unfortunately, we draw Bora, which makes for interesting play. I don't want to get bottomless, right? It's big, but I also... He has 2 back rows, so if I let him attack and then come into Bestiari, I dust only one of them. I don't answer the question, and if I set Icarus, then he could hit it. I don't want to set everything, right? So I kind of want to summon and get bottomless, set dust, do that, but then I have no monster. So I kind of want to set these 3 to book the attack. Wow, this is just a little bit of a nightmare, is what this is. I think I'd rather play with no monster. Or book it Icarus, right? So, okay, there's the out. Always a third option, right? Always a third option. Go 3 for 3. Go 4 for 4. I wasted a Deep Prison, he wasted a book. He's going to waste a bottomless on the summon. I'm going to activate Book of Moon. There's a 2 for 2. Now he's going to flip an attack, and I'm going to Icarus. And we're going to 4 for 4. Maybe. Maybe he sets Bestie and puts him back in the deck. Okay, when he does that, I'm going to activate Dust on his back row. That is his normal summon. That's a Deep Prison. That's fine. Now that's going to go in the grave. That Bestie. And then I'm going to activate this to get rid of both of those so we don't get Starlight Roaded or anything like that. He does have the My Body. Oof. That's going to make... That changes everything because he would have had 2 to our 1. Except he went first, so 2 to my 2, really. Except now, we're taking 24, and he's getting a monster back to his hand and leaving 2 big monsters on the field. Icarus attack is a good way to deal with it, but he knows what we have, so he doesn't have to summon Bestiari. Wow, this is rough. What is our out right here? Blizzard if he doesn't have a back row? Ooh, no Blizzard for me. But leaves a Sirocco play open. Leaves a Shura play wide open. No back row. Shura, we're in a really good spot. Does have a back row. Yep, so he knows that, but just has a Bestiari. And there's not too much we could do. If he has an answer for this, we straight up lose. If he doesn't, we still get hit by Gizzarus and take another 24, then gotta hope for the same deal. Not a machine, right? So that's all we could do. Let him summon or set Bestie. We take another 24. He doesn't remove anything from play. He brings out... This time he probably brings out... Oh, this time he probably makes Herc. 24. Laquari. Darius. Makes Herc. Alright, we're just going to go to game 3. We know where this is going, right? We know where this is going. Alright, let's take out a Dust. Let's try to get some draw power back. Delta Crow should win us this game, I think. Delta Crow should win us this game. Deck Dev, he doesn't kill too much. Fossil Dyna looks great, but he can still My Body it. But not being able to special summon is pretty good, although he could attack over this. But just setting this against any Gladiator Beast, but what if he summons it off in a Questy, bringing it back, or a Proving Ground, or something like that? Maybe we take out... Try to thin the deck a little bit because we don't want our Cyber Dragon to get hit with Oppression. We got to keep Oppression safe this game. There's only so much we could do. Now we just hope that we draw pretty good. A monster and 5 back row, right? Alright, not bad. Not bad, not bad. Heavy Storm and Delta Crow. Except we only get to start with 5 cards. Sorry. Okay. Oof, 2 Siroks. What do we do with this? What do we do with this, guys? He has to gain 1,000. We have to... Maybe he's lagging. Do we set Book? Set Heavy? Are we absolutely out of our mind? Do we set Book, set Heavy, completely out of our mind, they Heavy Storm, they win? Do we set Delta Crow, set Book, they summon, we book, we summon, they... But then we can't attack over the monster. But then we could Royal Oppression their attack. Set Book, set Delta Crow, we're going to lose a monster, we keep Heavy. Oh, man, this is rough. This is... I want to set Heavy so bad, but I'm not going to do it in case they have Heavy. I have to protect myself a little bit. A little wee bit, so I could Heavy and Oppression their attack. Unless they never tag that Laquari out. That's fine. You're not going to special summon, are you? You wrote normal, like you're going to do something else, but you can't. You just can't. You can't overextend like that. Good man, doesn't do it, just attacks. Set 3 back row. Just two. Did you keep dust shooting? You sure did. Wow, you really did. Well, there you go. You got the whole... all the info again. This isn't Go format. This isn't no crush card. There's not a whole lot going on. Except for one dust shoot. But when it comes up, it is still a pain in the keister. Alright, you didn't bottomless, so hopefully it's a deep prison. Not a book. Trap stun. Okay. We went first. We have 4. He has 4. What do you do now? Do you set oppression and hope that we're just good, or do we set oppression torrential? I'm going to set, even with heavy storm in my hand, I'm going to set this oppression because he has to deal with these cards right now. He has to. If he has heavy and a rescue cat, then he does. Heavy. Torrential Royal Heavy. Might not have a lot of answers. I think he's in trouble. No attack, no summon, no set, no nothing. This deck can't possibly play Gores, can it? You didn't side in Gores, did you? You can't. You can't. Look at the thinking that I gotta do now. Look at the thinking that I gotta do now without another monster. If I set Mirror Force, he rips heavy 1. I gotta go Mirror Force just to get a token off the field, or the Gores. I can't do both. This is insane. There's no way this trap heavy deck could play that. There's absolutely no way that it could play Gores. But I don't have an answer for it. I don't have an answer, and it really potentially good. What if he doesn't side in Shadow Mirror? He took all that time, but that could be an incredible bluff. The long thought about Gores. Little fishing right here, trying to get a little info out of him. I don't want anything. I don't want him to respond, but I'm leaning towards not attacking. Honestly, I'm not. But then again, the race right now to 2,000. He's gonna say, yeah, right. He doesn't have it. I know he doesn't have it. Yeah, I think that's the answer we want from the fishing. We're not going to overextend. We still got heavy. We still got good protection. Yeah, so that's... Hey, he kind of talked me into it with his answer. Okay, just a monster. We've seen... Oh, that's a great card to draw. Because now we're thinking, is this a Plomus? It doesn't matter. We have oppression. Now... Could be Murmillo again. This is a Darius. Alright, so now he's playing... He doesn't really have to do that. He doesn't have to put monsters in defense mode. Because he could take 2,000 a bunch more times. Kaloop being in the hand now is fantastic for us. Yeah, no Gores. We have 7 to his 6. That was the first plus of the game, running that over. Because we had to book the Raioh to run over it. Delta Crow was 1 for 1. Dust Shoot was 1 for 1. There's a bestie. Nothing doing there. Special Test Tiger, I'm going to activate Oppression on that. Seems reasonable. No MST, no my body, no nothing. Just an attack. And I got no deep prison or nothing, so he could book if he'd like. That's fine. Not gonna tag out. Two back row. Awful card to draw. Actually, it's not awful, really, because now, well, it's not great. Now I'm thinking about life over here. Well, I'm not worried about Starlight Road. If he summons another monster, I could Torrential. I could just Mirror Force the one monster. There's no reason to be stressing out right now. None whatsoever. If he tries anything, we could Oppress the Starlight Road. That negates it entirely. And I think we are... I'm gonna Mirror Force this in case he does have my body. He won't have two my bodies, right? So he does have one. That's fine. 1 for 1, take the 15. We will take the 15, but now when we try to negate with Oppression, it would die. He doesn't have another my body, so we let that go through. That's fine. Icarus, great card to draw. I think actually that might do it, looking at the hand, because now we're gonna Heavy, Cyber Dragon, Brain Control, Kalute. If he tries to Starlight Road, we Oppress. Its effects are negated. He gains 400 attack. Trap Stun was the other card. Its effects are negated. Wow, close game. Very good game. Played well by my opponent. Interesting with the Trap Stuns in there. I like that. Books. Not a fan of Dust Shoot, but it does what it's got to do. I understand that. Forbidden Chalice. Was this even out? Alrighty guys, one last time. Here is the deck list. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or want to see me play a specific deck, please just write in the comments what you want to see me play or what you thought about this deck. I wouldn't go 100% with this side deck. I would make some tweaks to it if you prefer. But again, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.